Second regular session is now in the books. Lawmakers are still dealing with issues through not one but two special sessions. Capitol correspondent Jason Doyle reports on how Republicans are pushing back against the governor's claim that they have not done enough to address inflation and rising costs.
House Speaker Charles McCall is glad the regular session is over, but is upset with Governor Stitt, who last week called for a special session saying the legislature needed to come back to repeal the grocery tax and to lower personal income taxes to help with inflationary relief. Stitt's insinuation that a tax rebate check and other measures are out of the Joe Biden playbook didn't sit well with the Speaker of the Oklahoma House.
The refund of taxpayer money to the people of the state of Oklahoma is not a Joe Biden playbook maneuver. If anything, it's a Donald Trump and a George Bush issue.
He adds that Stitt, or at least the state agencies he oversees as governor, was part of the budget process, unlike Stitt's assertion that he was brought in last minute to the negotiations. On the final day of the regular session, a handful of vetoes were overturned, including House Bill 3501, which requires the Department of Public Safety to recognize traffic offenses within tribal nations. Stitt called the bill a sheep in wolf's clothing when he vetoed it. That statement had Representative Ryan Martinez questioning the governor's motives.
With the governor vetoing this important bill, would it be safe to make the assumption that his racist and hateful behavior towards the important tribes in this state are getting in the way of good public policy that protect Oklahomans?
The House did not override the vetoes on the motor vehicle sales tax repeal and the $75 rebate checks. Instead, McCall says lawmakers will take up the governor's challenge to come up with a more robust inflation relief package. However, he intends to make that happen during the special session the legislature has called to allocate federal relief funds, not the June 13 special session Stitt called.
It is my intent to amend the legislature's special call extraordinary session to include inflation relief in that call and talk about all possibilities in helping Oklahomans to inflation relief.
He believes Stitt's call for the grocery sales tax repeal and the income tax cut is too narrow to address all avenues for inflation relief.
He wants to limit the legislature to just talking about two issues only. And it could be multiple issues that we need to consider as Oklahoma.
Democrats seem to be on board for a special session that provides relief, especially the grocery sales tax repeal, which could cost the state an estimated $300 million in revenue.
I do believe that we can afford to repeal the grocery tax here in the state of Oklahoma. And in fact, it's been a Democratic priority to do for the past decade because that is something that is crucial to provide relief to local families here in Oklahoma that are struggling. We can afford to do that.
I think that we should prioritize Oklahoma working families and cut the grocery tax. But when it comes to cutting income tax for high earners, we just did that last year. No, we should take that money and invest it into core services.
Representative Mickey Dollins also agrees with McCall that the special session scope should be wider, but for different reasons.
I think that we should expand the scope of special session to talk about how to make our schools safer, to talk about the baby formula shortage, to talk about real issues that are affecting people right now.
Representative Forrest Bennett believes once lawmakers are back on the campaign trail, they'll hear from potential voters.
I don't know what the Republicans' plans will be. There's a possibility that they'll gavel in and gavel out, but I think that a lot of folks are going to go home after today and be confronted by constituents who are going to ask them what they plan to do.
As far as the timing of Governor Stitt's special session on June 13th?
Not happy about it. This building gets really hot and humid.
I think it's incredibly disingenuous again, of the governor to call for a special session for the middle of June. That's being punitive, and another example of just trying to whip up on the legislature.
The reason McCall refers to Stitt's special session as punitive is because the primary is on June 28th, pressuring legislators running for re-election to leave the campaign trail and return to the Capitol to do the people's business. McCall adds that when lawmakers come up with an inflationary relief plan, that's when they'll return to the Capitol to take action later this summer. Jason Doyle, the Oklahoma News Report.